practice has been split in two parts. We have the laying down practice, which is core and back body, and there's the standing practice, which is core and back body. Now, if you have the time, I would recommend that you do them both, and you really give yourself a big pat on the back when you're done. Otherwise, if you don't have time, you can split it. They're about, one is the mat practice is about 30 minutes, and the other practice is about 45 minutes or so. So hope to see you on one of each or both. Hi everybody, welcome back to another core work session with me, Lâma. Today we're going to be working on the back core. So a lot of us, when we think about core, we think about this area here, which is true, but a really important part of the core is actually your back body, and it's your backs, and it's really also the muscles around your hips, your glutes, because these muscles, these are the largest muscle group actually that is supporting your spine, right? And this is what we're going to be working on, strengthening, activating, and connecting to. So we're going to be working core, back, and the area around the hips, the buns, and the entire posterior chain. So I hope you're ready. It's going to be an intense, fiery practice. And we're going to start by coming onto our backs and bringing our knees into our chest. And just feeling the back body onto the mat. So just starting to connect to the back body just by bringing the awareness to it. So we inhale in here and we exhale. So starting to connect the breath and connect to the feeling of being in the body. And then slowly, one at a time, you're going to place your feet down onto the mat. You're going to lift your head and chest up completely off center, and you're going to center yourself, right? So you want to feel that, you want to see that your shoulders and your hips and your knees are in the same alignment, and your knees are hip distance apart, and your feet are not too close towards your hips, so your hamstrings and calves are not touching each other, but your heels are slightly in front of your knees, and then you roll yourself down. You take your hands down to your side. Okay, so just always, before we start our practice, just taking a moment just to be in the body, just to breathe and just to feel, right, the different sensations, maybe any tension, any aches, any pains, and just kind of breathing into that and being aware of how your body feels today, right here, right now. So inhaling together. Exhale. And now we're going to start to exhale through the mouth as if we have a straw between the lips. So pursing the lips, inhale, exhale. And as we exhale out, we start to drop the belly away from our clothing without changing the shape of the spine. So we notice the anchoring points of the shoulder blades. We notice how the back slowly, naturally curves down, and there's a small space between your low back and the mat. We're going to keep that space intact. So we're not going to be tucking under, and we're not going to be arching. So just a nice neutral spine. So every time we inhale, keeping it in neutral, and every time we exhale, drawing the belly button down and in, keeping the spine in neutral, activating the feet as well. So pressing the feet into the mat, hugging the legs towards each other without actually having them to touch, right? And drawing the belly in. Now, on our next inhale, you're going to slowly lift your hips, your low back, your middle back, and your upper back, and you're going to peel it off your mat. So just feel that. And you're going to lengthen the crown of the head away from the shoulders. So feel like you've got a long line going from your shoulders through the hips towards the knees. And the knees are shooting forward. And you're lifting up through the hips, and then you're softening through the front of the body. And then we backtrack, so we come down the opposite way. We inhale, we exhale through the mouth, we draw the belly in, we round the spine to slowly come down very gently, articulating your vertebra all the way down to the mat. Okay, so we inhale here, and we slowly start to tilt the hips, the low back, the middle back, the upper back, feeling the spine leave the mat. Take an inhale. Exhaling around the spine. Start to lower gently through your upper back, your middle back, your lower back, and then eventually the hips.
We lift the arms up towards the ceiling. So if you've done these classes with me before, you know how important the rib placement is in order to activate the core and to connect to the core. Lift the fingertips up towards the sky, feel the shoulder blades come off the mat, and you plug the shoulder blades back down. You activate the feet, right? So feel the anchor points. The feet are anchoring and they're active. The shoulder blades are plugged down, they're active, and the back of the head is also plugged down. And then we inhale, we slowly hinge the arms back. Notice, as my arms are hinging back, I'm not arching my spine. So my rib stays nice and soft, my spine stays in neutral. So I work on drawing my sternum down, the two lowest points of my ribs down towards the hips as my arms hinge back. I lift the arms up, I take my fingertips towards the mat, I peel my head just off and I reach my fingertips forward and I come into my core as I exhale. Inhale, we come down. Activate the hands and the feet, and we slowly start to, on our exhale, lift the hips, the low back, the middle back, and the upper back up. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower the upper back, the middle back, the lower back, and the hips. So we're going to bring the two movements together. Taking the arms up towards the ceiling, activating the feet, right? Lifting the fingertips up, plugging the shoulder blades back down, hinging the arms back, hold, softening the front of the rib cage, anchoring through the feet. Lifting the arms and bring them all the way by your hips, down to the mat. Reach the fingertips forward towards the mat, pressing the feet down. Exhale fully. Good. Slowly roll it down. Inhale. Press the feet into the mat, activate the fingertips, and tilt your hips, your low back, your middle back, and your upper back until you come into bridge. Good. Inhale. Exhaling. So we're connecting the awareness of back body and the connection and the awareness to the front of the body together. Lifting the arms up one more time, one last time. Hinging the arms, remembering to soften the rib cage. Lifting the arms up. Bringing the hands down to your mat. Reaching the fingertips forward, pulling the belly in. Look at your belly here as you exhale. And see if you can draw it further away from your t-shirt and from your clothing. Good. Let's stay here. We inhale. And we exhale, and we hover the arms off the mat and bring them by our hips, rolling the shoulders down. Inhale. Exhaling. Reach towards the heels. Slowly lower yourself down. Take the fingertips back down. Feel that you're stable in your feet, so we activate them back in, hugging the legs slightly towards each other, so we're activating the inner thighs. And then we slowly tilt the hips, the lowest part of the back, the middle back, and the upper back up, and we hold here, hold. So start to lift, right? The hips up and the back of the hamstrings without going into an arch. So keep your rib cage moving towards the back body. So softening of the rib cage, right? Bringing the front body down, so contracting, activating the core, and bringing the back body up. So we're drawing the back body and the front of the body together in the stable bridge. Let's do one more breath. Keep your feet active. So keep the weight equally distributed on both feet, and the weight equally distributed between the heels, the balls of the feet, and the outside edges of the feet. Then we inhale here. We exhale, we slowly curl ourselves back down. Good. Feeling the hips come down. Lifting the arms up. Reaching the fingertips up, shoulder blades leave the mat. Hug the shoulder blades back down. Hinge the arms back and hold halfway, softening the rib cage. Now you're going to lift the arms up. You lift your head, you lift your chest, and then you reach the hands towards the thighs. You inhale here. You exhale, you reach up towards the thighs. You're going to feel the shoulder blades come off the mat. Press your feet firmly into the earth. Good. Reach the hands away from the thighs and slowly roll back down. Lift the arms up and hinge the arms back, again working on the rib cage placement. Inhaling, lifting arms up, lifting head, lifting chest. Take the hands towards the thighs and slide your hands up your thighs. Right, so you really want to kind of press down into it. So it's not just, we're not just hovering, we're actually reaching and we're pressing down. And then we inhale and we hover the arms up and away from the thighs, and we slowly lower. Right, inhale here, and we hinge the arms back. Exhale, lifting the arms up, lifting head, lifting chest. One last time, reaching the hands forward towards the thighs. Good. Now keep reaching. And then you're going to flex your feet. And you're going to press the thighs into the hands as the hands press into the thighs. Lower your feet down, lifting the arms off the thighs. Slowly lower down. Okay, and slowly hinge the arms. Starting to feel the fire now. Right, inhale, lifting the arms up. Lifting head, lifting chest. Take your hands down to your thighs and reaching the arms forward. Good. Flex your feet. Press your thighs back into the feet. You kind of press forward into the thighs with the palm of the hands. And now you're going to hover the feet off the floor. And you can bring it all the way up into tabletop as your hands start to reach up higher, but they're still touching the knees. Good. Inhale here. Exhale. Slowly lower down. Lift the arms up. Keep your legs up in tabletop, right? But the knees here are apart, they're shoulder width apart. You hinge the arms back and you support through the rib cage placement. Lift the arms up. Lifting head, lifting chest. Reaching the arms forward. Pressing the palm of the hands on top of the knees. The knees press forward into the top of the hands. So here we go. Into each other, right? The palms are pressing forward and the knees are pressing back. Let's do 2 more breaths. Come up a little bit higher. Really scoop as you exhale. Draw the knees together. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Okay. Still up in tabletop. We're going to lift the arms up towards the ceiling. Right? And we hinge the arms back. And now this time you're going to close the legs. So the heels are together, the knees are together, and the thighs press together. Soften the rib cage, reaching the fingertips back. Lift the arms up. Lift your head, lift your chest, and press the arms down by your hips. Reaching the arms forward here. Now from here, you can extend the legs, pressing the thighs together and reaching up through the toes, right? And you work on closing the gap between the inner thighs, keeping the knees slightly soft so they're not locked, right? Then we bend the knees into our chest and we roll our head and chest down. Inhale, lift the arms up, hinging the arms back. Lifting arms, lifting head and chest, and on your exhale, you either bring the legs in tabletop, you either bring the legs straight up, or you're going to extend your legs a little bit further out. And from here, we're going to take the hundreds, okay? So we do it together. Knees in, lifting the arms, hinging the arms back, inhale. And exhale, lifting the arms up, lifting head, lifting chest. Take your position here, here, or extending out. Wherever you do, your back has to be flat on the mat, your back is supported, and the belly works to go inwards. And then we start to pump the arms for the 100. And we inhale, and we exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Keep going with me. We're just going to keep pumping, and we're just going to keep breathing and keep scooping the belly away from your t-shirt. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Lift those shoulders. We're almost there. Hug the legs towards each other. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. I think we're reaching the last 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2. Reach and hold. Either one leg at a time. You bring them down towards the mat, or straight legs stay up, down all the way down towards the mat. Whew. And then you take the arms over the head and you stretch yourself out. So this was the hundreds from the world of Pilates, keeping in with the Pilates theme just now. Check that you're centered in your mat. Okay, I keep going off center. This is important. You're going to glue your heels together, and the toes are going to be slightly apart. So if you look at the knuckles of the 2 feet, you should be able to maybe fit a fist in between the knuckles of the 2 feet. You glue the heels together, and you draw the sitting bones towards each other, right? So we're not jamming anything. We're not pressing and squeezing anything. We're just subtly drawing towards each other. So you want to feel the inner thigh connection. You want to feel the legs moving inwards. Feel the anchor points here. Your heel is your definite anchor point. Your heel is not going to leave the mat. You lift the arms up towards the ceiling and you hinge the arms back, hold. You want to feel like you are the flattest plane ever, okay? So your fingertips are reaching, but we're not arching away from the mat. You really feel the shoulder blades against the mat by softening the ribcage even more. Point your feet, lift the arms up, lift your head, lift your chest, and look towards the belly, lifting the shoulders up even higher, like you want to come up. And then you slowly come back down. You hinge the arms back, inhale. Exhale, lifting the arms up, lifting head, lifting chest, lift up. See how much you can take the shoulders off the mat here and slowly lower down. Good. On our next one, you can drag your heels in about 5 centimeters, but your heels are still glued together, okay? So now your knees are slightly off the mat, your feet are flexed. You hinge the arms back, you lift the arms up, lifting head, lifting chest. Go ahead and grab the side of the thighs. Reach out through the elbows, pull the belly in, and slowly peel your spine off the mat, reaching the arms forward, and pull that belly away from the thighs. Shoulders are on the back. And then you slowly keep looking into the belly and keep a round shape in your back. You press your heels together and away from you as you slowly articulate your spine back down on the mat. Inhale, and we hinge the arms again, flattening the front plane of the body. Lifting the arms up, lifting head, lifting chest. Pull the belly in. Good. Grab the sides to the side. Bending your elbows. Keep looking inwards. Feel the spine. Feel the back body come off the mat. Right? Reach forward, but keep pulling the belly. So we're not in a collapsing. Keep pulling the belly. Good. Shoulders up, down on the back, away from the ears. And you press your heels together and away from you to create more resistance. Good. You can keep this going, right? Or you can extend your legs. So this is more challenging, is to extend the legs. You lift the arms up, you lift your head and you lift your chest. You either grab the sides of the thighs here, or you keep just reaching the fingertips forward. Keep a round spine. Pull the belly in, keep looking into the belly as the arms reach forward, hugging the legs towards each other. You press your heels away from you. You create this resistance by pressing the feet away from you and jamming the heels together. Yes. So heels do not fly apart and do not fly off the mat. Inhale, lifting the arms up, lifting head, lifting chest, peeling yourself off. Find your flow here. Pulling the belly away from the thighs. You're stretching your spine, but you keep pulling the belly in, so you're still in a core activation. One more time, inhale here. Lifting the arms up, lifting head, lifting chest, pulling the belly in. Good. Reaching forward, pull the belly back, pull the belly way back. Slowly roll it back. Okay, we're gonna slow it down here. Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Keep slowing it down, as slow as you can go. Keep pulling that belly in. Keep pulling that belly in, and then you come all the way down to your mat. If you've slid off your mat, center yourself again. Again, check that you are centered. You take your knees in towards your chest. Lift your head and chest up here. Good. And then you're going to extend your left leg out. Keep your right knee into your chest. You're going to take your opposite hand to the knee, same side hand to the ankle, okay? You don't want to drop the heel down too close towards the floor. You want to keep your legs slightly halfway up so you're in your core. If this is too much for the back, take your legs straight up, okay? And also, depending on the flexibility of your hamstrings, you can bend your knees slightly. But the idea is to keep your leg extended and reaching out of the hip. Good. Now you lift your chest up towards the knee towards the chest, and you reach the elbows out to the side. And then you switch sides and you exhale. Remember, opposite hand to the knee, same side hand to the ankle. Now you reach again, you switch. Reach to the far wall with the extending leg. And we switch. Reach to the far wall and extending leg. Get those shoulders, switch. Get those shoulders off the mat. And we switch again. And we switch again. And keep switching. And we switch. So we count for 1, 2, and switch. 1, 2, and switch. 1, 2, and switch. Last 1, 2, and switch. Left side. 2, and switch. Bend your knees in towards your chest. If at any point you start to feel too much tension in the neck, You support your head with your hands and you work just on the leg movement, right? So at any point during the practice, bring your knees in towards your chest. Good. And now you're going to extend your legs up towards the sky, really keeping your heels in line with your hips. And then you're going to walk up your right leg. So you're going to bring your right leg towards you. And you're going to walk up your right legs with your arms. And your left leg is going to lower down, also reaching about halfway. Now you reach that left leg towards the far end of the wall. And you pull that right leg towards you twice. So as far as you can go up, right? And the idea is just to try to get those shoulders really off the mat and look at your belly and pull the belly in. Try not to lean over to that right hip, try to stay centered. You pull that right leg towards you twice, so it's pull, pull. You switch the legs in the air as you scrape the ceiling with your toes, and then you pull, pull on the left side. And we pull, pull on the right, and left, pull, pull, and we switch. Pull, pull, and switch. Now keep this rhythm going. And scrape the ceiling with the toes every time you switch. So reach out of the hip joint as you switch. Reach out of the hip joint as you switch. Reach out of the hip joint as we switch. Last one here, you're going to take your hands behind the head, and we're going to go a little bit faster. Here you go, and one, get the shoulders up. Two, keep lifting. Three, open up even more. Four, open those legs. Five, six, seven, eight, and eight. Bend your knees in towards your chest. Okay, so really like to prepare the core before we go into standing practice, because this way then we're all fired up and we're connected, and then we know, right, where to go to find that activation, to find that connection to help us with our balancing poses later on. Extend your legs up towards the ceiling. You take your hands behind the head down, and you really work on lifting the shoulders off the mat, okay? You hug the legs towards each other like they're one unit, okay? So the heels are glued together, and you work on drawing the two sitting bones towards each other. And when you work on drawing the two sitting bones towards each other, naturally your inner thighs start to move towards each other too. You keep your knee from locking. If you lock your knee, you're going to overwork your quadriceps and you're going to tighten in your hip flexors. So hug the legs, but move the sitting bones towards each other, heels towards each other, lifting your shoulders off the mat. Now in this exercise, you're going to lower the legs down, right, in 3 counts, and you're going to lift the legs back up in 1 count. So this is how it looks. So you hug and you go 1, 2, and 3. You exhale, and you pull the legs back to center. If this gives you tension in the back, take your hands underneath your hips, not in your back, underneath your hips, palm facing down. You lift your head and chest up, and you work on moving the legs while your back is supported. So we start together, heels together, thighs together, sitting bones reaching towards each other, and here we go. We go 1, go to your deepest point, 2, without arching your back, 3, exhale, lifting up. You keep your back flat on the mat, so it's not important to go really deep with the legs. The most important is to keep your spine really supported on the mat. So here we go again, 1, and 2, and 3, exhale. 2 more, 1, 2, 3, hug the legs to lift up. Good, scoop to lift up. 1, 2, 3, scoop to lift up. Good. Now we're gonna go down in 1 count, and we're gonna lift up in 3 counts, okay? Again, activate the legs, the inner thighs, the heels, and the sitting bones, and we go 1, as far as you can maintain flat back on the mat, 1, 2, and 3. And again, all the way down, and 1, 2, and 3. Good, 2 more, all the way down, lifting shoulders up, 1, 2, and 3. Last one, inhaling, good, 1, 2, and 3. Bend your knees in towards your chest. Okay, a nice way to finish this off is with the crisscross, because it also twists the body, twists the spine, and releases any tension that we might have created from the previous exercise, okay? So you're gonna take your knees back in towards your chest, and you're gonna stabilize through the hips. So you wanna be careful that you don't rock on each hip every time you twist to one side. So the movement is you lift your head and chest up, you bring your legs slightly in tabletop, right? Try to get your shoulders off the mat. We inhale here. We exhale. We're going to bring your right knee towards your chest, towards the elbow. The elbow comes to the outside of that right knee, and you extend your left leg and you reach it out to the far end of the wall. You come back to center, you close. And you exhale, and you reach towards the left knee with the right elbow. And you keep the opposite hip down and heavy, right? Otherwise, you're going to roll over to that side, right? And then you will not get what you need to get out of this exercise. You come back to center. And this time, we're not going to take a break between the two sides. So we're just going to go right, 2, 3, and directly to the left. 2, 3. Keep your opposite hip heavy. 1, 2, 3, and twist. Get the shoulders off the mat. Opposite hip heavy. Good. Get the elbow. 2, 3 on the outside of the knee. And twist. 1, 2, 3. And change. Right side. 1, 2, 3. And left. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go a little faster. Here we go. 1. And 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, and 6. Oh my gosh. Okay. Whew. Take your knees in towards your chest. Or if you feel the need to, extend your legs out to release and feel the front of the body lengthen and stretch. Go ahead and do so. Take your hands down by your side. Okay. Bring your feet back in. Again, center yourself on the mat. Check that your knees are hip distance apart and your heels as well. You don't want to start with the heels too far away from you. Really feel that you can anchor those heels straight down into the mat, but the hamstrings and the calves are not touching. You activate the hands and the feet. We inhale here. And just like we did in the beginning of the practice, you slowly start to curl your hips, your low back, your middle back, and your upper back. Now from here, we're going to really go into it. We're going to go a little deeper if there's space to open up the front of the body. So you can support your hips or your low back with your hands, and you can walk your feet in a little bit closer towards you. You can walk your elbows a little closer towards each other, and you lengthen your neck and the crown of the head away from your shoulders. And if you'd like to, if there's gives you a little bit more space, you can raise the heels or keep the heels down. Good. Maybe have a little bit of an inward rotation of the feet, so the toes pointing slightly inwards and the heels slightly outwards, just to release in the low back a little bit more. A little breath. Good. And then from here, you're going to slowly release the shoulders, and you release yourself down. Good. We're going to come back into a bridge, but this time it's going to be more of a controlled Pilates style core bridge. Again, making sure your feet are not too far away from you, not too close to you. Press the hands and feet into the mat, and then you slowly lift your hips up. Very slowly lifting the hips up. And just like we did in the beginning of the practice, we lift the back body up to meet the front body, and the front body releases down and softens. So you want to keep this part active to support your low back. And then you start to fire up in the back of the hips here. Fire up in the back of the hips. Inhale and exhale. I'm going to activate the left foot so that you can extend your right leg up towards the sky. Now, you want to keep both hips up. You're going to flex your right foot, and without lowering the heel all the way down, keep your right hip up, and you're going to lower the right heel with straight leg down towards the level of the left ankle, point your toes, and then lift it back up again. So flex, inhale, reach, lower, lift both hips up, point to lift up. So the challenge here is to not to drop in the hips, yeah? So heels are lifted, reach, straight leg down towards the ankle, point to lift up. And again, flex all the way down and point and lift up. Last one, flex all the way down, point to lift up. Keep those hips lifted, keep the hips lifted, lower down. Take the heels straight down to the mat, slide your heel in, and slowly lower your spine down on the mat. Okay, same side to the left hip. So again, reminder is to try throughout this exercise, the challenge is to keep both hips on the same plane, stable, and not dropping your working leg or not dropping the supporting, the stabilizing leg, okay? So here we go, slowly gonna lift up, pressing the feet into the mat, hugging the legs in towards each other, pressing the fingertips down into the mat, holding here, feeling both sides. Notice the difference between the right hip and the left hip. The left hip might feel maybe more fired up. Maybe the left hip feels more fired up. Good. So from here, we're gonna shift the weight. We're gonna just activate the right leg a little bit more. And then we're gonna extend your left leg up, lifting through that right hip and through the left hip. Flex the foot. With straight leg, you lowered your left heel down to the ankle, you point and you lift it back up. Inhale, lift your hips as you lower the leg, point to lift up. Lift your hip as you lower the leg, point to lift up. Both hips, lift to lower, point, lift up. Lift to lower, point, lift up. Flex all the way down and point. Last one, we drag the heel in, all the way down to the mat. Lift the hips up, drag your heel in, and slowly lower down. So we're not done yet from here. We're just starting actually. So this is all the intro. This is the intro work for the core, and the intro work to the back of the legs. Take your hands down. Slowly curl yourself up, lifting your hips up, hugging the inner thighs towards each other. Good. You're gonna inhale, you're gonna raise the arms up towards the ceiling. So again, lifting the hips up and then connecting the core, the front core to the back core. If you feel stable and it's okay, you hinge the arms back and you hold. So now the front core has to do a little bit more work. You might feel a little bit more burn in the back of the legs, right? This is called pleasure pain. So lifting up, softening the front of the rib cage. Okay, so I really want you to challenge yourself in this practice today. Take yourself to a place where you don't think that you can, right? Because most of it is just in the mind. Inhale, lifting a little higher. Slowly lower yourself down to the mat and lower your hands down. We're not done yet. So from here, you're going to take half a step forward with your heels. Check that they are both on the same plane, both knees, both hips on the same plane. So you've stepped half a step forward with your feet. Press your hands down into the mat, okay? And you curl your hips, your low back, your middle back, and your upper back. So now that we've walked our feet further forward, we're going to get a little bit more into the hamstrings as well, okay? So again, support your low back by connecting the core, tightening the core set. Every time you breathe, connect the belly, connect the core. Now raise those hips, activate the feet. Feel equal weight on both right and left side of the body. Both heels, both outside edges of the feet, both balls of the feet. Maybe raise the arms up. Right? If it's too much, keep the hands down for stability. Maybe for extra challenge, you take the hands and you hinge them back. So now, all that's really working are the back of the legs. And we're just going to do 2 breaths. You can do 2 breaths, right? One more breath. Give me one more breath. Beautiful. Keep reaching the hands wherever they are and slowly curl yourself down. Take your hands down. Not done yet. So, one more to this. You take another half step forward. Another half step forward. Now, challenge yourself. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. If you don't push it, right, you're not going to strengthen it. You're not going to create that muscle shock that is necessary for change to take place physically, but also mentally, right? What you thought you couldn't do, and then you end up doing. So, my feet are now a full step forward from where I started, and I activate both feet into the mat, and then I slowly start to raise my hips up. So here I am, hips raised, softening the front of your torso. And then, if there's space for you, you raise the arms up, lifting those hips, or you hinge the arms back. So go to the edge. Come on, go to the edge. Inhale. Activate the feet and raise the hips a little higher. Exhale, raise the hips even higher. Just one more breath. Slowly keep reaching as we slowly lower our spine back down, taking the hips and then bringing the knees in towards our chest. Good, and feel the stretch in the back of the hips and the back of the thighs. Extend your legs up and just allow your legs to just fall towards your face. Right, and just to release here. Good. Then you bend your knees and you're going to rock yourself up and down a few times to sit. You can extend your legs forward, flexing the feet for an exercise called spine stretch forward. You flex your feet, and my legs are not too wide. They're slightly wider than mat width apart. And I want to feel that my shoulders are stacked in front of my hips. Now, if you feel that you are sitting behind your hips because you're quite tight in the front of the hip flexors or tight in the low back, take a towel or a folded blanket, place it underneath your hips, and you sit up on it, right? So that you are elevated and your shoulders can stack up easier on top of your hips. You take the arms forward, shoulder width apart, right? And shoulder height. Flexing the feet towards you. You press down through the arms and you press down through the sitting bones and you hug the legs towards each other. So it's a three-part kind of movement, right? You're pressing down, you're hugging in, and you're lengthening up. So think about lengthening up through the spine as this presses down, as the legs hug in, and then we release, okay? So arms reach forward, you press, you grow, you hug inwards. Now to stretch the spine, you're going to keep your lowest part of your back stable, okay? So this lowest part is attached to a pole. You press, you grow, you reach, you flex your feet. You bring the chin towards the chest, and you slowly peel yourself off the pole except for your low back. So you're stretching the top part of your back, but pull the belly in, the lowest belly pulls in, so as if someone is pulling you back. So you're really stretching out. And the more you flex your feet, the more stretch you're going to get in the back. And inhale, we restack the spine. So imagine there's a pole attached behind you, and you peel yourself away from it, and then you reattach yourself to it, one vertebra at a time, except for the low back, the sacrum right here, that stays connected. Press, grow, hug in. Inhaling, flex your feet, exhale, chin towards the chest, reach forward, pull the belly back, flex your feet, shoulders on the back, pull the belly in, right? So we're not pulling back either, right? So we don't want that pull to be pushed back. And inhale, restacking the spine. One last time. Exhaling. Flex the feet, shoulders on the back, reach forward. Good. And inhale, restack the spine, exhale, release. And just from here, just allow your feet to just rest. Go ahead and take a forward fold. So wherever your flexibility takes you today, you can take your arms in front of you, arms on your legs, down on your elbows, down on your forehead, wherever you are with your flexibility and whatever feels nicest to you right now. Just take a moment just to take a couple breaths, right? And just feel the opening of the back of the legs and the release in the back. And one more breath here. And slowly we come up. And then we're going to swing our legs behind us, coming into a child's pose, curling the toes under and sitting on your hips. I'm just going to go a little bit further back so I'm completely in the middle of my mat. Sitting down on your heels, roll the shoulders on the back, spread out your fingers, right? So feel that your fingertips are really reaching down into the mat and pull the shoulders. So you're going to pull the shoulder blades down on the mat, down on your back, sorry, right? So instead of kind of being here, you're pressing into the mat and you pull the shoulder blades down the back to get more stretch.
Great job. You just finished part 1 of back body strength. If you still have time and energy, head over to part 2 for your standing practice.